Coming up, with JobKeeper ending, what will be the impact on local jobs? You'll get an expert's view of local Ipswich market conditions. Plus, how local businesses view a post-COVID vaccine world. Will it mean increased profits and therefore new jobs? Or does the rollercoaster ride continue? I chat with Brad Bulow, Ipswich Chamber of Commerce Young Business Person and Business Person of the Year. It's Saturday, March 27, 2021, and I'm Alan Roebuck. Welcome to Ipswich Today, which acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which it is produced and pays respects to elders past, present and emerging. This podcast is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. Brad Bulow is a business solutions provider. His years of experience as an accountant has driven his passion to help businesses grow, adapt to new markets, and increase their business value. Brad is Ipswich born and bred, actively involved in the community, and a founding member of SwitchOn Inc. He is part of Sammut Bulow Bennett Partners. I caught up with Brad earlier this week in his top-of-town office. Brad Bulow, thanks for speaking with Ipswich today.
Thank you, Alan. Pleasure to be here, mate.
We're just over 12 months into COVID. How would you describe the past year for businesses in Ipswich?
I think business in Ipswich, it has been a trying time, but I think a lot of businesses have just shown their resilience. They've pivoted, they've changed their trajectory with what their products they're offering, how they deliver the services. I think, I'm very proud of what us as a community have achieved. I'm sure there's industries that have struggled and continue to struggle, and in particular sort of retail hospitality space as well. They really need some support and help, and in particular, hopefully, people have been at home and have their war chest saved up so they can sort of spend some money in some local Ipswich businesses. But mate, really proud. I think at SBB Partners, we've sort of been really hands-on with our clients, holding their hand through the process, because a lot of the government stimulus that was announced was hard to interpret and hard to, for a client to implement on their own. So there's been a lot of inquiries, and I think there's everyone's had their little time where they've been in the dumps, but I think there's a can-do attitude in Ipswich in particular, and mate, I think the community's done really well to hold strong.
Well, your business provides accounting and business advisory services to others. Now, in the first few months of the lockdown, you've already mentioned how things were constantly changing. Did you ever imagine that your work would be impacted by such a disruption, and how did you adapt?
Yeah, look, I think there's always a quote, death and taxes are the two things in life that are not going to go away, unfortunately. So for us, our business, we went into a contingency plan. We had crisis meetings before we sort of knew what it was all going to be about. But our first priority just turned to our clients, and pretty much tools were down for probably the first month when COVID hit. It was just about reaching out to as many clients as we could, checking in on how they're going. Yes, we had a lodgement program. Yes, we've got jobs we had to get out of the office, but I think that was our priority at that time, and I think that's really held us in good stead now. The number of referrals that we've received to our business have grown astronomically, I think, due to the fact that out in the community we've seen to be someone who has really gone out of their way to help their clients and hold their hand through the process. So our business, look, to be honest with you, we have still held strong. We probably have pushed the barriers, and we have probably worked harder than, not harder than I would like, but harder than I'd like some of my staff to have to do. But at the end of the day, we're a caring, nurturing souls, us accountants. We're a special breed, and we've done our best to really keep things moving. So we have been impacted a bit, Alan, and maybe our debtor days have stretched out a little bit, but all in all, mate, we feel we're stronger for the COVID run.
Keeping our focus in Ipswich, how critical was JobKeeper to business survival in general?
I think JobKeeper was a good initiative. I think it was difficult. I think there are probably a few clients who may have left it on the shelf because there's a lot of alternate type tests for those businesses that weren't your norm and suffer different seasonal trends, or just couldn't understand what the government had laid out as all eligibility criteria. But I think all in all, a lot of our clients have really relished it. I think we've educated clients that JobKeeper is a short-term stopgap. It's not a long-term solution. But I think it's really helped clients sort of get through get through a tough period, keep reinvesting in their people, keep reinvesting in their business. I suppose there is a fear though, what is next? We'll see businesses fail, I believe. You will see people probably lose their job. But I think all in all, like I said, businesses, especially locally, are quite resilient. And look, I think it was very, very important. It got us through a tough period, but I think, it's one of those things that we just can't keep relying on government handouts.
In those first few months of COVID, the deepest fears were massive job losses. Well, JobKeeper's obviously been the buffer. What are you seeing generally now in terms of job growth in Ipswich?
I think job growth in Ipswich, Alan, I think people, there's been a bit of, I call it job crafting. I think people's roles have probably changed to adapt with the times. I do see a lot more people, because there are good incentives out there in the marketplace for putting on trainees or putting on apprentices as well. There's good subsidies in that space for employers once they sort of understand what's available as well. So I think you might see unemployment a little spike upwards, but I think all in all, I think people, the days of people coming to get their tax done and having one employer are over, I believe. I think people might have multiple jobs, they might have side hustles. I think people, like I said, I think people are just really adaptable to the economy, the gig economy we probably live in these days as well. And and in terms of people, a lot of our clients are starting side businesses, e-commerce businesses, are just working out ways that they can fill their budget. So I think all in all, I think unemployment will, to be honest with you, will probably, I see it be a slight reduction in Ipswich and possibly globally as well, because I think people are just redefining, and the stock standard roles are adapting, and we're a bit more of a flexible economy.
It's the new COVID normal, isn't it? And the vaccines are coming along and giving people hope. Ipswich planning approvals don't seem to have taken a dip during all of this. New houses are still being built. Yeah. In fact, some agents are saying it is a seller's market and there's a shortage of real estate. Yeah. So on the strength of those numbers, Ipswich appears to be going gangbusters regardless of COVID.
I think it really is, Alan, and I think sometimes an event like COVID, I think, is a bit of a leveler as well. We as a company are probably maturing, and the type of clients that we're probably attracting to our company are growing, and some are next level as well. And I think all in all, they're looking at opportunities. They're looking at where there's gaps in the marketplace as well. And great client of ours, Blue Dog Training, Brad D's, mentioned the other day he's never worked as hard. He's the number of apprentices he's putting on have just grown astronomically. So they're going to the next level. Yeah, I think there's and the government have done well in terms of incentives they put in there for first home buyers and stuff as well, to sort of, which has helped from a stimulation perspective as well. But I think there will be more jobs, there will be more opportunities. I think people are really educating themselves about how the planning process works. I even know as an accountant here as well that one of my best mates is a town planner as well, and often I think we're just educating ourselves about where there's opportunities, and we're not looking at life like, well, let's just buy a rental property for the sake of buying a rental property. Why don't we buy a property that we might be able to split up, or we might be able to do a duplex, or we might be able to do high density. I think people are just looking at opportunities and looking at investment differently as well. But definitely our client base, we see a lot of businesses growing. There was a little contraction for a period of time, and stuff did stall for a few months. But a lot of our construction clients are really going hard.
Brad, let's talk about you. You were born and bred in Ipswich. What are your earliest memories of growing up, and where did you grow up?
And I grew up, I haven't moved too far, Alan. My office here is 5 kilometres away from where I grew up, which is Leichhardt. Had great times growing up with a brother and sister, a lot of backyard sport, cricket, rugby league. Sad fact of my life is that I'm not the best cricketer in my family. My sister is. She played women's cricket for Australia, Mel Bulow. But growing up, a lot of sport, a lot of just teams, a lot of great mentors, a lot of teachers I had at Leichhardt Primary School. I know there's probably a stigma about Leichhardt, but I know that's where Gay Anderson opened her first hair salon as well. It was great. I had great mentors growing up. I had people who I suppose were on my side and helped me get opportunities early in life in terms of making sporting teams as well. And I've always could not be prouder of coming from Ipswich. So I always try to give back, whether it be through a sponsorship or sitting on a board. That's just a town that continues to give, and it's one of those as well. It's old school, but you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and I think that's what Ipswich people are all about. So yeah, great memories. Couldn't ask for better parents who sort of gave me every opportunity in life as well, put me through, I went to St Edmund's School. That was a great school as well. And yeah, today my mates that I had at a young age through playing sport and going to school are still mates today. So yeah, great community, mate, and couldn't be prouder of it.
Those high school days, were you thinking an accountant back then, or what were you aiming for?
I always loved numbers, Alan. I probably didn't know what accounting really meant. Always knew numbers. Great at number facts at schools. Remember dates of, wouldn't quite call me Microsoft suits. That's not quite the level of memory I have. But yeah, I could remember people's birth dates. Everything seemed to be around numbers with me. I threw myself into commerce and liked it. It stuck. And basically, in public practice, I've just loved working in commerce. I believe is a different role to working in public practice. Working in commerce, you're working on one file and doing the same jobs every time. But working in a space I'm seeing different people from different walks of life, different income earning potential. I suppose I've been able to create a business that I want to create here as well. Like I said, we're a multidisciplinary practice these days. Tax is an important discipline, but there's so much more that people come to accountants for. I think we are the trusted advisor. We are their financial GPs. Yeah, I just love the work I do. I love the people that I surround myself with in our business. And yeah, every day's different.
Tell me about your first job.
First job was as a trolley pusher, believe it or not, $7.08 an hour at the Yamanto Woolworths. What a great job. It was even greater one day when I found about 35 packets of Mars bars sitting in a trolley. So the number of schoolmates I had at Eddie's just grew astronomically that year. But yeah, trolleys, Brady's bookstore, I was contacting books. About 3 books an hour was about my level. I was pretty average at that. So that went to $9 an hour there. So I was always on the hunt for a few more dollars an hour. Then I got a job at Harding Martin. I think it was a $19,000 a year contract. Great place to start my professional accounting career. Graham Harding was my partner there, and still a good friend today, and I learned a lot through Graham at that time as well. Technically a great accountant and had a diverse knowledge, not just in accounting but property as well. So yeah, that's sort of where I started my working career.
And the big decision, which is always a gutsy one, to branch out on your own. When did that happen?
It happened when Martin Sammut said he needed a good check and needed someone to hold his hand through the next 15 years of his career. But no, in reality, I loved the accounting industry. I've always not wanted to just settle. Always wanted to come back to Ipswich and start my own business. And I suppose I just backed myself. Great mentor of mine, Don Moore, who's my father-in-law as well, has always been in businesses. My family are a little bit risk-averse in that regard. Dad had always worked for the one employer his whole life, taught me great fundamentals and principles as a worker to always put in.
I'm going to interrupt you there. And that's not unusual for that era. A lot of people did have one job from school
100%.
To retirement.
Yeah, 100% that was the norm, and you don't see it as often these days. And that's why, as a business here, we're sort of looking at recognition programs and loyalty programs for people who do have good tenure at our practice as well, because it's the cost of replacing labour is very costly as well. But yeah, Don Moore, my father-in-law, had always run businesses, and I suppose he was the person I'd turn to for advice at the time and said, should I have a go? And he said, why not? And and it's been the best decision I could have made. And Martin Sammut, is not just a great business partner, but been a great friend and ally of mine. And yeah, we've had some good times together, and our families are great friends. And yeah, I think from there we've achieved a lot of stuff together.
And in recent times, the business has expanded even further.
Yeah, we definitely have. We merged with formerly called Bennett Partners, a regional firm based in Mackay, but also expanded into Brisbane about 10 years ago. And we saw that as just a great opportunity to, I suppose, so many synergies between the two firms. Martin's brother Chris is a partner up in Mackay as well. They're a very more traditional accounting practice, offer audit and have a very strong technical core group of accountants as well. So yeah, we're on a growth journey as well. We even as partners and as individuals in the business are really starting to play to our strengths, and we just saw there was great synergies in us as a group, and we can do greater things together, and clustering our ideas, clustering our people, and pushing forward. So yeah, Mackay's a great area, not too dissimilar to Ipswich, and yeah, Brisbane, and would be mad to sort of neglect our capital city as well, and we just think we can put our stamp we can add our SBB partner stamp into how we offer accounting services for the clientele and all those demographics.
I love your passion about your business. It's wonderful to see, but you've got equally strong passions about helping the community, and you were part of SwitchOn. Tell us about SwitchOn.
Yeah, SwitchOn, massive passion of mine, and basically is a group that a few like-minded business people probably founded around 2010, 2011. We're probably core group of gents in their late 20s, early 30s who just started to have families, were starting to really passionate about building their own professional careers, probably towards the end of their sporting careers as well. So there was a little void. We all like to have fun, and it's not always you can drink a can of Coke or you can drink a beer, it doesn't matter. But I think just having a core group of males together talking about life, talking about business, sharing stories, we thought, well, let's do more of that. But while we're sort of having fun and feeling a little bit guilty about that, why don't we put some money towards charities as well? And so we sort of then morphed that into, let's look at some men's health charities. And I think, I'm very passionate about the mental health side of the game. I see it in my work as well. Our work does sometimes morph into that, as well as financial counselling, emotional counselling as well, in a non-technical term. So basically SwitchOn was built around some passionate local business people in Ipswich who just want to do good by the community but want to have a bit of fun as well. So we basically at SwitchOn, we have 3 or 4 large events a year. We try to raise as much money as we can, and we filter that money through to sort of social wellbeing causes. We have set up our own wellbeing platform at SwitchOn, where basically any business people, any individual in Ipswich can sort of log on and access some wellbeing resources, understand, if things aren't feeling quite right in themselves, they can check out what those symptoms might mean. Some great fact sheets, great stories, great publications, great video material there as well, and that's something we want to build on over time as well. And massively passionate about SwitchOn, but passionate about any sort of not-for-profits or any organisations that are just doing great in our community.
SwitchOn is still going strong?
Yeah, we're struggling to land this golf day. COVID and a massive rain event has canned our race day the last couple of years. But no, we still, look, everyone's very, very busy, Alan, and we don't want to, we've got a core group of people that really pitch in and throw all their energies towards keeping SwitchOn moving. Like I said, we don't rely on funding. We run on the smell of an oily rag as well, but we have got a passionate group of people that will ensure we still put some good events out in the marketplace, events that are different, and in events that bring different people, different guest speakers to town as well. So we're still going strong. We're not overdoing it. We sort of have our core events every year. We run our sports event, a really good race day. We do try to filter in other little events around golf days and stuff as well. So we've got our core events that we think we do really well. And we'll keep punching on as long as we can.
Brad Bulow, it's been terrific to sit down in your office and chat with you today, and thanks for speaking with Ipswich today.
It's been a pleasure, Alan. Thank you very much.
Ipswich Today is supported by Kinetics, people-powered web hosting trusted by Australian businesses since 1999. This podcast is also listener-supported. Please make a once-only gift or regular donation to help keep it online. Just go to ipswichtoday.com.au and click the donate button at the bottom of the page. You can follow this podcast on your favourite app, including iHeartRadio, or play Ipswich Today from your smart speaker. Music is supplied by Purple Planet Music. This is Alan Roebuck. Thanks for listening.